Welcome to episode 2 of the We Talking podcast, and I'm your host, Kamilah Gumbs. I just want to say thank you guys for listening and joining this podcast for this journey. This episode was supposed to drop in September, but life got busy, and I hope you enjoy. Just a warning, the audio is kind of bad because, St. Martin technology and the internet was going in and out. But other than that, I hope you have a great day. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of the We Talking podcast. Once again, is your host, Kamilah Gumbs, and I'm here with an extra special episode. Co-hosting with me today is Nian and my brother Kadar, and we have 2 extra special guests. We have my uncle Alphons Gumbs and my godfather Christian Brooks. So we're going to be talking about growing up in town, or Philipsburg if you're that type of person, and just all the nature of growing up in St. Martin and what it means to be a St. Martiner. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
So before we get started, Uncle Al, do you want to go first? Tell the people about yourself.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone listening to this podcast. As Kamilah mentioned earlier, my name is Alphons Gumbs. I'm one of her short, tall uncles. And to give some background about myself, as mentioned, I come from a family of 11. I'm the last boy child. We had 8 boys in total. I'm the youngest of them all. And outside of that, I am an accountant by profession. I have a master's degree in accounting from Johnson Wales University. I currently work at First Caribbean Bank in the corporate division as a corporate manager. Outside of that, I am one of the members of the High Council of State for the country St. Martin. I'm the chairman of the General Audit Chamber. I was a member since 2010 when we got country status. And then in December 2020, I was promoted to the chairman position. I also am a member of the St. Martin Lions Club. I'm the past president. My term just ended the end of June. I'm now on the cabinet for the district as its own chairman for District 60B Lions Club, where it's all of the Caribbean islands together. Outside of that, I am a sportsman. I play baseball, softball, played a little basketball in my younger days. I want to challenge Kadar one of these days since he's thinking he could beat me, but we get there someday. So all in all, that's a little wrap about myself. I'm married. No biological kids, but we have 2 kids that we are rearing. My oldest is Karim, who also lives in Holland in Groningen, and the youngest, Tyreek, 14 years. He attends Milton Peters College in Harvard Division. So that's just a brief update about myself.
You can tell you've done this a lot.
The man know how to give an introduction. Uncle Al, I didn't realize you're so busy. Odd man. Why are we such a busy people?
Yeah,
yes. And Christian, you now have the floor to introduce yourself.
Do you think I should really introduce myself after all that I said?
You could try.
First of all, let me say good afternoon to everybody that's tuned in. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to keep it simple as I am. My name is Christian Brooks. I was born in St. Martin. Went to school a little bit in New York, came back home, and I work at a local telephone company. I don't have as many accolades as Al, but I'm an average guy. Thank you very much.
You can tell the people then which telephone company you even work for.
Or what school.
Well, there's only one telephone company. That's the St. Martin Telephone Operating Company.
You're right. It's true.
That's it.
True.
Pretty much, I was born on the north side of the island. And, most of my life resided on the south side. This is where I met Al. And we became, brothers from way back. And I just can't get rid of them. And I never will.
Oh, that's my best friend for life.
Yep.
I love that. I appreciate that so much. So talking about, you guys growing up on the southern side of the island, aka town, because if we're being realistic, people really only used to live town then anyways, or in the quote-unquote country.
That amazes me.
I have beef with that. Before we get into it, I don't know if you guys have the same sentiments, but when Daddy always specify, he'd be like town and country. So I understand the difference between it because, of course, Philipsburg was a town and everything else was a country. But in today's concept of things, nothing is technically the country anymore. So do you still say country?
Hello, if you're not from the capital, you are from the country.
Naturally.
I feel offended. I feel a type of way.
Listen. Middle region is country. Sucker Island, country. St. Peter's, country. South Reward, country. Okay? So
he just said you in the country.
That's it.
I need a horse.
Not a horse. Kadar say he need a horse since he lives
in the country.
But they got horses out there, bro.
Yeah, they got lots of them right there.
I ain't teaching the people them horse.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
If you want to come to the city, just go borrow the horse and you come down.
Oh my
Naturally.
gosh. This is a problem. Okay, there's going to be an episode.
So what friend side used to be friend side would be considered country as well then?
With the French side, I think they look at it the same way. If you was not from Marigot, you consider it from the country. But on the French side, most people used to think that French Quarter was a capital. The French Quarter people think that French Quarter is a capital more than Marigot. So, fortunately,
I can see why they think that, though. I can see why they think that.
Time out. You just moved to French Quarter. How can you say that? How can you say something like that now? You just moved to French Quarter. What? How many years now?
A long time. Uncle Al in French Quarter.
Al, you are going to
my
be
whole life
responsible for everything you say here today, bro.
I am weak. Okay, so that's interesting. I could understand why French Quarter thinks so though. Because if you ask people if they're from French side, 9 out of 10 times they're from French Quarter. So that add up, that makes sense. But yeah, so we traveling back, we over the border, we gone over the hills, we cross the pond, we back into town. So growing up in town, I would say this was the 70s, 80s. I hope I ain't aging on you too much. What was like the gist? Like, what was the environment? How did it feel just growing up in town? Like, how did you feel growing up?
Well, Al, you want to get this first?
No, you go ahead first. I tag on to you.
Okay. Growing up in town, you couldn't feel more free, especially as a youth, because you had so many things going on. You had, you played baseball, whether it's legal or illegal. When I say illegal, meaning like in the school, when the school's done, we play baseball. It's dangerous because you could easily break a window, but we didn't care. We didn't have all that power. We just had to learn the basics like that, And then, you got things like picking pomseret, picking almond, sea grapes. The youths them now, I don't see them doing that at all. It's just different,
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and to add to what Chris is saying, like growing up in town, to us then, like Chris said, we had a lot of opportunities, other stuff to do, and we grew up as a family unit. I could go by Chris' house, I could go by the neighbor. You go wherever you go, you're always welcome. And going back then, we said that the village raised us. We were not raised just by our parents, but everyone in the whole neighborhood was our parents, and that kind of respect we had for everyone. And with us knowing each other, everybody know who you are, so you could not do nothing bad. So that's why our generation, we never really got into much trouble. And I think growing up was such fun that we know what we needed to do, go to school, get our grades, have our chores at home to do, but we was able also to go out and have fun, play a lot of baseball, play basketball. And of course, summertime, we spend most of our time in the sea water since it was right there close by. You just run across the beach take a duck for. You might sell your mother. You're going in the sea for 5 minutes, 5 hours, and there you go. That is it. Like, when we look back at those days growing up in town, and if you compare it to today, there's a lot different that you see, especially like today's Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon was after church, you go home late afternoon, you go for Sunday walk through town. You do it for right. And you gotta go through town, all the stores them, you gotta see what the stores them had inside because there wasn't any burglar bars and stuff on the showcase. But actually see what these stores them had in it, although we didn't have the funds to buy, but looking in and seeing what's happening was also something great for us growing up.
Where were you guys walking? So was this like front street, back street?
We walk both. Front street, you walk mostly on Front Street, and then you go up Front Street and you come down back street. So that was kind of walk that you had through town back then.
Nice. And talking about like the stores, like if you drive through town now, even like high afternoon, all you're seeing is shutters. Like,
right. That's the same thing I was talking about.
I think Front Street have the highest per capita of shuttles on the whole island. No way the place would be shut down. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yes, it's as if they prepare for hurricane. That
basically, on that, with that thing. And then talking about sports, since you guys say you play like baseball and softball and basketball, I know Daddy was telling a story that the fresh pond used to dry up. Like, did you guys used to play baseball there as well?
Yeah, we do. Actually, mostly in the one like down close to the auditorium. Once that's dry, that becomes one of our parks. And we used to joke sometimes. I'd be telling Tyreek and them about it. It's like when we was growing up, we used to consider ourselves major league players because like how major league you travel from one city to the next to go play. So on a Saturday you leave from town, we go to St. Peter's. St. Peter's had an area that they will play. The next week, you go to Miller Region, you go to Colby. So you used to travel to those different areas in order to have a game. Now, right now it's only the two parks. You have the Little League Park or the Coastal Lake Park that you go to. But that was one of the fun things we had growing up. And especially then, like you mentioned earlier, the fresh pond, once that dries up in the summertime, that it was hard enough that you could actually go there and actually play. And that became one of our fields as well.
That was cool. I wonder if anybody have a picture of that. Because how
anybody fall in it?
In the pond?
It was
pretty dry.
No, but seeing how it's dry, but sometimes it can have one part that is fully dry.
No, well, when we were playing, everything was good at that time. So we never encountered someone tripping on an area that was still soft that you couldn't play on.
Mm-hmm. And like when you used to go to the different areas to play, like how would you guys get there? Is like, did you have like a coach or was it like a parent?
It like Christian was saying, it wasn't like fully organized. So just like guys and get together. Sometimes you have an older brother or uncle, one of them would have a vehicle that would take us. Sometimes even we walk it, especially if we're going to St. Peter's or Miller Region. Sometimes you'll walk it up there to go play. I think most of the time when we would catch a ride is if you go to Colby and stuff like that. Right. Most of the time, you walk together as a group. 20-minute walk feel like a 5-minute walk because you're everyone together having fun that you go. Yes, Kamilah, walking is good.
Yeah.
But from like town to St. Peter's, that kind of stretch. Like
that's not fun, no. That's not fun.
It's not that far. So Kadar, if I tell you to go walk town to St. Peter's right now.
It was not far. Because especially
I walk from town to Sucker Garden.
Yeah.
Town to Sucker Garden is not far. So I mean
that's right there.
That's right there. I don't think it's like and look at it. In Carnival, people do all of that during Juve.
Yeah.
So it's not once you I feel like once you're I think like if it's hot, you're by yourself, you really want to go home, it's long. But if you're with friends and you're having fun, I don't think it's that long.
Yeah,
and Kamilah just lazy.
I mean, you want to feel that's just a long time once you're having fun with a group of guys, with a group of friends.
Well, Kadar just call me lazy, but I get
Kadar,
it. Also,
for your big sister, Kadar.
thank you.
She's small.
Wow. Wow. But then also if you think about it, the sun wasn't as hot back then either. So it should be fine. Like today's
I
sun.
think if it wasn't that hard because we never used to pay attention to it, but I think it was still hard.
I think it's still hot.
We just wanted to get out to have fun, so I don't think we used to worry about the sun that much.
I
wanted to ask, like, where you guys were like swimming, like, where were you guys going to see? Like, what beaches were you guys going to at that time? Because, like, now for us, holiday is the place to go. So I want to know back then, where was the place to go? What was the beach to go to?
Naturally, Tung, let me tell you. You see by that small pier, that was Mullard Bay. Everybody was by that small pier. That was Mullard Bay then.
Really?
Yep.
So everybody's coming from all the different districts to that one area.
To swim right there.
Yeah, the small pier. Yeah. If you go out to the small pier on a Sunday afternoon, you think there's you feel like it's an Easter Monday type of atmosphere.
Really?
From all over to the small pier to swim.
And if you can't swim, don't walk on the pier either because you're going over with clothes on, eh? Hello.
Yikes.
Everybody had to learn to swim the hard way. Not no pools and stuff like that. Eh? Just jump in and swim.
Nobody was teaching you guys how to swim, like, so it was just pushing people off the pier just like that?
Yeah, just go and find your way. Yeah.
Find your way.
Gosh, that's
we never grew up like the young kids of today going in a pool and learning to swim.
I never learned in a pool, you know. Self-taught.
Well, you use 1 a week of that.
You self-made, Kadar.
Self-taught.
Self-taught and self-made.
100% natural from the ocean.
Oh,
all right.
It's ocean, KB.
But I'm actually shocked that like Great Bay was actually the beach because like you don't really see much people going there now. Like, you know what I mean? Even though if they live in that area, you don't really see them going to the Great Bay Beach. No, they will actually find some way to go over the hill to go to the beach.
Yeah, the beach stopped being as popular, especially when this build the boardwalk. Because right now, if you look at the boardwalk, I mean, this if you go into the beach, once you go in, it gets deep right away. Yeah, if you grew up like us in town, the beach used to be actually like, if you know, by Sissy Palace, the water used to actually right up against the hotel. So that was the beach. So right now, you have close to 100 meters that they fill in. So that takes away a lot of the what we used to call our beach at the time. So we got, you have the area that was still shallow then, but now if you go to the beach, you go right down into the deep. So it's not really attractive for people to go with the kids anymore because there's no real show that the kids them could actually enjoy themselves on.
Wow,
interesting.
Yep.
I was just having that conversation a while ago. How tourism do us good, but still do us bad because no. Wow, that's very interesting.
Let me tell you.
I want to ask what are the big differences that you guys see in comparison to like when you guys were growing up in town, or what you miss seeing in comparison to now that probably isn't there or isn't the same?
That's an interesting question. Well, actually, growing up was a little slower, which we didn't mind that pace, Compared to this pace now, it's like everything's so fast. You have knowledge at the tip of your fingertips, but still, you have unconscious people out there still. So it's kind of like, you have to balance it out. But coming up, we like I said, you do things, you get corrected by the village, and you move on from there and from that, But nowadays, you can't take none of them youths out there because they're going to pull a knife or gun on you. You know what I'm saying? Just for you to not mind their business or whatever it is.
And I wanted to actually, I think those are like key differences, but like development wise, like what is it that, for instance, you had back then that you guys don't see now, or think places probably you used to play at or hang out at that aren't there now?
What I could say to that is like, especially if you look on Front Street, what you used to have back then although you had many stores on Front Street, but you also had a lot of homes. Like people was actually living on Front Street.
Oh, really?
Now it's really just one or two homes that you'll find really on Front Street. I think if you pass after you pass the Methodist Church, go up, there's a few commercial units downstairs that have a few apartments upstairs, but not
Right.
homes like how you would have like where Christian and them grew up there across from Orania School. Their houses are still there, but we used to have a lot of those further up on Front Street and on Back Street that are no longer there. A lot of those buildings now have been demolished and built into commercial units. So that is something.
So basically, on Front Street, you used to just see homes, like like people actually used to live on Front Street with actual homes,
Yes,
not just commercial.
not commercial. We actually had homes on Front Street.
So for instance, you have a home, then like a store, a home, then a store, and like a good mixture in between.
And like if like an example I could go, if you know there by the Catholic Church on Front Street, right next to the Catholic Church have a few jewelry stores across from both chance.
Right.
Just growing up, there was homes actually was there. The flans, there was some flans Neville in them that used to be there. Also on the other side of the Catholic Church, right next to Bull Chance, where Bull Chance is now, they used to also have the home there for the priests from the Catholic Church. So they also have a home there as well. So even if you go further up on Front Street, there used to be different homes and like when we had the St. Rose Hospital further up, also above it on the other side, you used to have homes, individual homes there as well. So all of those homes have been demolished over the years, and as Christian said, for tourism, they have turned these homes into commercial buildings now that you have. So you don't have that large population living in Tung like when we was growing up. You have in certain areas.
Yeah, man, it's just it's kind of shocking to see how everything just changed up like that too, because from the time I left to go to America, which was in '86. And when I got back home, the place changed so much, man, And yeah, man. What happened? It's just like everybody gone from Front Street. And like I said, we're the only ones left there now, basically. So a couple down the street. And we thank God because we don't know how long we're gonna be there.
That is true.
That's true.
That's very true. That's very interesting to see. Like I was telling you, like legitimately, because I was doing another recording earlier, and we were legitimately talking about, yes, tourism brought this and brought that to the country, but then you lose so much of what is your own, what is St. Martin. Like you don't see the houses, you don't see like the families that grow up from there no more. You don't really have like the nature, because we fill in so many places to build up so many things. It's just
man.
So crazy.
Like you see, and again, it's the keeping of your culture, Now where we grew up, it was residents, They had the best hamburgers and milkshakes in the world. They were number one. But when they see McDonald's and Burger King start coming in here and thinking, chicken, but how they say they're dependent on tourism, and they're wiping away residents and they're bringing in things that are already in America. It doesn't make sense. You're not coming from a vacation in America to come eat McDonald's in St. Martin. You could get that in America. You're supposed to be able to get St. Martin fast food. You understand what I mean? All of that kill it too. Tell me if it's making sense,
And where exactly was Residence located?
Residence had two basic locations. One there, when you go up the Front Street, you know where, you see where the casino is, okay, the Regional, just a little higher than the Regional Casino, just above the Fish Alley. Okay?
Yeah.
That was Residence there. And then they had another spot on a pier. That was an ice cream spot, basically. But then down on the pond field by the stoplights was where Residence had the drive that you could have drive in and drive through and get your stuff,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There was a drive-through.
Yeah, man. McDonald's not from we,
I'm weak. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man.
Well, that's so good. So what other was like the big like St. Martin food spots I used to go to? Like this is the spot where I'm going for food.
But listen, apart from the local barbecues and stuff like that, which I find that the tourism looking for these kind of things. You're coming from America, you want to taste the culture of the country where you're vacationing. But then again, like I said, everything is just becoming so Americanized and commercialized that our culture itself is just disappearing. So when they come, they can't get a nice saltfish and Johnny cake to hold them. You know what I mean? All these things. Maybe a couple of people still doing a little thing on the boardwalk locally. Like Colinas have it bad. You could get a little local, nice little saltfish and Johnny cake and thing there too. But to see down the street in the water plant square, I have a brethren there, have a little restaurant running there, Rosendo Van Potin. Anybody will wake up in the cheap as they have a nice little breakfast and lunch, Yeah, man, and things like that. About
yeah, like I know, for instance, there wasn't as much tourism in the 70s and 80s when you guys grew up. So I wanted to also understand, like, what was the feel like? What can you describe like a day in the week that would look, how the day how your day would look like during the week, or how your day would look like on a weekend, or what would you what would be the first I need to shut my question. That's bad.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that again.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you for the promotion, Kamilah. Really? Okay, you see, them times, okay, the most tourism you will get is like maybe in the places like Mullet Bay, because they had people that had timeshares over there, It wasn't a real like big, heavy, not a lot, no tourist boats in them times, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, you had people coming to stay Mullet Bay in time sharing, and that's basically it. But as far
tourists
as
weren't really coming to like Front Street and Back Street or in town itself during that time.
Not really, it's just more cultural thing, man, Had more local shops and thing on the Front Street, and other people selling peanuts and thing. You go and you get your peanuts, and you know what I mean. That's how we survive and made it through. The only one thing now that really hurting us is the fact that we did not invest in agriculture. You understand? As much as we should have, because look now, when your tourists can't come, at least you have something to feed yourself, and sustain yourself. That's the one thing, it's like they teach us to depend on a dollar, but in the end of the day, you cannot eat a dollar. You have to eat food, you know what I'm saying?
Because
So,
when
and we have
pictures of St. Martin during that time, there were so much greenery. Like, so much greenery.
And what do you think happened? Come in with the money, and they sell the land out, and end up putting buildings on it, and totally just.
During that time, were there a lot of people like farming or doing their own thing in their garden? Were people at home like in town doing that? Like growing peanuts or growing avocados? Were people doing that at that time as well?
Yeah, man. We had a lot of planters here. We had enough planters here, but for some reason now I don't know what happened. Like Kamilah said earlier, the sun could be hotter too. All of that, and the soil isn't as nice to work with, But I mean, still, they have so many things. They can set up a beautiful irrigation system and thing that, you don't really make a big task on you. You know what I'm saying? But again, you have to start somewhere, and I hope right now that these youths come in, that they really implement that in the schools, get the youths them to love this, and make them understand the importance of it, to feed yourself and not depend on somebody else to feed you, you know?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that can be implemented with our education debate.
I also want to think, like, I can't imagine a St. Martin, like, with goats and cows. Like, I just can't fathom it, like, goats and cows.
You know, you can tell who never live in St. Peter's. You never see all them goats up in St. Peter's.
Oh, wow.
No, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't, like, in Jamaica, I can fathom. Like, I don't even have to, like, dream or imagine about. But in St. Martin, I just cannot imagine, for instance, a cow walking down Front Street or a goat working down back street. It just don't.
It'll look weird, yes.
It just don't mesh. So just don't mesh.
Yeah. You're right, man. I feel you.
But you never see the goats up in St. Peter's for true?
I've never seen. Well, no, I shouldn't say I've never seen like goats or cows. So you know what? You want me to be completely honest? Where I've actually seen the most goats and cows and stuff like that on the French side.
Yeah. Go Colombia.
Just roaming. And that's what I'm saying. Like now I can't even imagine what that looks like in the 60s or 70s. Like I just feel like I don't think it happened. I just can't imagine it at all.
Yeah, man, those were good times. You know?
Christian, you ever have to wake up in the morning and go carry the goat to eat? The goat to get grass?
Nah. We didn't have goats. Our pets back then, most we had were dogs and rabbits. But to say goats and stuff like that, not really, man. You know?
So where?
Yeah, because you were from town. You wasn't from the country. That was country children problems.
Well, actually, you see, actually, I lived in St. Louis. This is way up on the hill on the French side there when you're going towards Grand Cars, you know? Well, I lived in St. Louis. So over there, ain't no more country than over there. Trust me. Because in the morning time, when you hearing donkeys and things like that, and you know, you wake up to those sounds, and you hear the chicken making a lamb for you and stuff like that, you know? Yeah, the real country, man.
I don't miss a rooster at all. I could tell you that for sure. I do not miss a rooster. Like when I go home, boy. I think when I go home, it had one rooster around by my mom there, and it just decided to be loud. I was like, this is not what I miss. This is not what I miss at all.
It probably misses you. That's probably why it's been going on like that.
Maybe not.
Oh, man.
No, but
yeah, man. All in all, you know.
I want to know, what supermarkets did you guys have? Like, where were you buying stuff?
Well, let me tell you. Honestly, Alphons shop. Joe, my grandmother used to send me down there, right? With a list.
Really?
She used to send me down there with a list to get some of my groceries there and stuff, and boom, boom, bring it up. And I mean, I think that the major one back then was like Food Center. And that's where the grandma she is now, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Food Center. That was
the main one. Was it as big as Grandma Shea is now?
Yes, it was called Food Center. And besides that, you had the Chic supermarket, which was in Cahill, where what a place is there now? Koiman. Where Koiman is, there was the Chic supermarket.
You know what I remember Koiman being? Rams.
Well,
Rams. That's what I remember Koiman being.
It was the Chic supermarket.
Yeah, so Koiman, where Koiman was Chic before Chic moved. Yeah, where Koiman is.
Then it became Rams.
Then it became Rams. So Chic was in that big building before it moved Cul-de-sac, before it moved Elby Scott.
Right.
Wow.
Interesting. Because Chic in Cul-de-sac not even Chic no more. It's what, man, Chung? Well, nobody will call it that. Nobody will call it that.
We got to understand how these business people operate, you know. If our people would walk how they walk, we wouldn't have no problems at all. You see when their term's up, they turn it over to the next guy coming. You know?
Yep.
True.
And they keep it going.
True.
But our people can't network like that yet. So have us just, the way we are. But, God is good. God is for us also. Hey,
my Rams
it is what it is,
I cried when Rams left.
Really? You didn't love Rams?
I had a great Rams experience. At that time, my mom was living in Cale. That was a great experience. I had my mini cart. That place was big. It was a dream. Like Rams.
Wow. Well.
Like I know you're laughing, but Rams.
Right now, if you come down, you're gonna have to make it cost you more.
Look,
cost you stress.
Not cost you less. Cost you more.
Cost you stress.
Cost you stress and cost you more.
Really?
Cost you stress and cost you more.
I didn't realize how expensive shopping back home was until I was home last Christmas and I went shopping with mommy. And I just looking at the prices. And they just keep going up.
Yeah.
And they keep going up. And they keep going up. And I was just like,
yeah. Yeah, man.
Food not cheap.
When you can just get a nice sweet potato from your backyard, children, over in your full day.
Mm-hmm. But then you gotta spend $15 to get one that don't even look decent no more by the time you reach home.
Exactly.
I would love to know what Joe is selling at that time, because now I want to know like what a supermarket look like. Does it look the same way it looks now? Was he selling more things?
Let me tell you.
You know,
Joe, the same.
Let me say this on the record.
All I know from my dad, he was like, "You want a coldest beer? Go buy Joe." But I feel like Joe was the supermarket was way more than just the coldest beer. Like, I need insights.
Conflict, you name it. Joe, as a matter of fact, Joe had everything except condoms.
No.
I have to go there because that's how it is. And Al would be a testimony, but he's not there. So Joe sold, you could find everything in that little shop. Don't underestimate that little shop, eh? You want bubbly cough syrup, you got it. You want SSS tonic, you got it. Let me tell you, Joe sold everything in that little shop, man.
Wow.
Well, with the exception of what I said earlier, but
look, right? Watch out and tell grandfather you're here scandalizing his shop.
No, I'm not scandalized. I'm actually bigging them up.
I feel like that's such a staple throughout time. Like I've heard like my mom say it, I've heard my dad say it. I'm there wondering like for it to be there that long, that means like so much people have known that shop for different purposes. Like no, like my dad was just like the coldest beer. Christians now saying it had everything. So it's just like, wow, it's just evolved. Like, you know what I mean?
And let me tell you something, eh? Rest and bless Miss Thelma. Her patties were
the best. The best.
Greatness.
The best.
Greatness.
I feel like Spirit I haven't had one.
Let me get an amen on
Greatness
that,
personified.
everybody. Let me get an amen for them patties.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Nian, let me tell you about them patty, right? Okay? When I used to go by grandma after school, if grandma got fresh patty, she making, I standing up in the kitchen waiting for the patty to come out the pot. No, I'm not going in the shop by grandfather to get it. I used to get up, but if it ain't fresh, I used to go in. I'd be like, grandfather, it got a tuna, it got a saltfish. He'd be like, yeah, it got saltfish. And I used to be that happy. I used to cry when the only patty left was cheese. Because I was like, who out here taking out all my patty that I want to eat? So, you know, that just make me sad. But Miss Thelma, rest in
experience. Like, you got coldest beer, you got best patty, you got all convenience store. You see what I mean? It's such an evolved experience.
Yeah.
Look,
right now,
okay, I'll be talking about the greatness of Joe's shop. You missed the quote Christian say, your shop used to sell everything but condoms. And he said you can testify on such statement.
You see why we think we need a lawyer in this podcast? Just feel like legal representation.
By the time the message gets
I can't testify on what I did not hear. So
you see.
Okay. Good man, Al. That's why we best friends, you know. That's why we best friends, man. Yeah, but when you read Al, serious on a serious note, how you did just bust off like that?
Not me, boy. The internet decided to drop. Can't help for that. I tried logging on my phone, but it was sticking.
You should
have. You know, tell him to work on the friend side. You know, tell him to work on the friend side.
Kamilah was saying it's Sunday afternoon. And you know, ladies love attention on Sunday afternoon.
Wait. You say who was saying? Kamilah. Last time I checked, Christian was saying it's on Sunday afternoon. Okay. They did not carry you to the altar for you to be putting me in wrong business.
Scandalous.
Yeah, are you hearing these people?
I gotta leave you alone on this one. I can't even back you up. Alone on this one. You're alone on this one. I can't even back you up.
Oh God.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let me transition to the best part of this conversation. The part that I've been looking forward to. The part Kadar been shaking for because he have a specific question. And he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave until you guys answer it. But we're going to leave his question for last. Let's talk about the famous nicknames of those things. Because it don't make any sense.
None at all.
I feel like you guys probably have the simplest nicknames out of everybody that you either grew up around with. If you're being honest, I think Daddy owned the fact that his name is Tucker.
I still need a clarification on that one.
Yeah. No, there was a man named Jim Tucker.
There's a man named Jim Tucker.
Full stop. That's the explanation.
But what they got to do with my father?
Because his name is James.
But
so I think I get the connection. So James and a nickname or a shortened name for James is Jim.
It's Jim.
And there was a man named Jim Tucker. So that's how it came.
Jimbo.
James, Jimbo, Tucker. That's how it works.
You see look how easy my young be from Alphons to Al. Easy.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Like that's
dude.
It makes sense, you know.
Christian, what's your nickname besides Chris?
Everybody hates Chris.
I'm weak.
No,
what's yours besides Chris? You have to have a next one.
Beauty. Short for beauty.
Okay. I cannot with you today. I am unable to can. Oh my God. Okay, so can I ask you a question about which nickname you want to know?
I need this important answer. The nickname you had for Mr. Reverend Dennis Baptist.
Woo!
I need to know.
That's not dead.
I know you saw Reverend Baptist in church this morning. You're having a conversation with him.
He never tell me.
You should have asked him the question at this morning.
I tried. He just not gonna answer me.
So if he know the name and he didn't answer you, I'm not the one to tell you.
No.
Tell you that name.
This is a setup. How bad it is that you can't say it because the man is a reverend.
I can't remember.
But I told him what Dennis' nickname was. I told him. Dennis' nickname was Den, short for Dennis.
Not that one.
The third one. Dennis, then the next one.
I used to call him Serrano.
But Kamilah, you sound like you know it, so then you can enlighten us.
Me? I don't know nothing.
Yeah. Serrano. I used to call him Serrano because of the famous baseball player in a movie, because he would hit the ball very far. So I nicknamed him Serrano. You know, that was about it. Serrano or Den or Den or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I don't know anything else.
Those are the names we know about that. Can't drink another one.
You guys don't seem convinced.
You know,
No.
there's something.
Kadar, you not convinced?
But then you know what? You know what to do? Get Dennis on the podcast and leave him answer that himself because we don't know. We really don't know.
Aye.
Boy, so problematic.
I ain't going to hell for Kadar. I'm not going to hell for Kamilah because I'm not telling the truth on my reverend. No way.
You know, once again, Christian, you was at the altar when they put the water on my forehead. I feel like we could go through this together.
I don't think he's willing to do that.
Listen, I totally understand what you said. You know, we all been under the gun.
I'm weak. So, okay, so back to the general conversation in regards to nicknames. Like, what was like, I wouldn't even say a criteria, but what was the criteria to have nicknames? Like, for example, Kadar and Korean godparents can't go dog. Like what is the criteria to have a name like a Congo for Claudia and like dog?
I can't. We grew up knowing those names. How they get them, I can't tell you.
Okay, well, they buy at least three of them got the Stabbers. Who are the Stabbers now? Who are the Stabbers now? Damn them Stabbers now.
Huh? Who were the Stabbers?
Name the Stabbers. Who are the Stabbers?
Disco, Austin, Dawson, Al.
Which Al?
No.
How did we get them here?
Uncle Al, you was a Stabber. I need more context.
We were just a group of guys and friends that used to hang out together.
That
was our nickname.
So how the word stop? Because last time I checked, you know, my group of guys friends don't go around saying they're the Stabbers.
Okay, you want to know how we got our name?
Yes.
We had one evening, we were hanging out on Front Street at Orania School, and this lady passed. She's one of us said something to her, and she came up because she can't, and she pulled a knife on us. So from then, they call us the Stars.
Wow.
So it's actually in reverse, you see?
No,
they're
that's
not
what it was.
actually Stabbers. They've been almost stabbed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So problematic. Oh
sometimes
my gosh.
Reverse like that. Yeah.
I love that. Let me see. Kada, what's your favorite Down Street nickname?
Favorite?
Yeah.
I think it'll be
you don't like your uncle on? You don't like my own?
I think no. I have too much uncles, so it's
That is also true.
Aren't you having too much uncles?
I think the most weird one is I don't understand where to get that one for Boog.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
I
don't know where it came from. Where Boog come
I can't
from?
remember how they got that one either.
Well, if you can't,
I think he came back from Aruba with that one. I can't remember for sure.
Not from Aruba.
So nobody can testify to how we get it in Aruba.
I don't know.
Tony's supposed to know, right?
I
Tony
know.
probably know, right? But he must not.
You're right. You're right.
Don't worry, Al. By the end of the softball season, we gonna find out that.
All right, so.
Okay, Al, what's your favorite tone nickname?
My own? The one
Like your favorite.
The one I carry in right now?
Because it's so simple. Can you just add?
Huh?
Can you just add?
Kadar, what is my nickname?
Oh,
The dude.
The dude.
But the other one besides that, my Hotmail name. I'll put three letters in between after the. Oh, so you know that one? Okay, that's good.
Kadar, you're confused. I also confused.
What?
Christian, tell him what my original nickname was.
Your original nickname? Stop.
No, not that one.
Not stop. Oops. Oh boy. That was a new one for you guys, huh?
Yep. I like that one.
Alice, I think, you know. Alice was it?
No, Alicia, so that was Gwendolyn used to call me that.
Is the something dude?
Yes, Telma dude is what I'm looking for.
Oh.
But that's why I said that.
But you said 3 letters?
I tell you 3 letters that aren't to the dog. You said the dude. So it says Telma dude.
Oh.
That makes sense. That makes so much sense.
How did you get that?
Yeah, sharp, man, Nian. You ever see this man dress? Sharp, you know. Never not sharp.
Oh. I get that name because, like Kamilah said, I always used to dress good. And Telma's my mother name. I usually Telma dude boy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you've always dressed sharp. So that name just stuck with you.
Yeah.
Sharp from the womb.
Oh wow.
Me too.
You trained.
You've gotten better over the last couple of years. It's okay, because I've also gotten better in the last couple of years. It's a growing process. It's a growing process we have going on. It's fine. But okay, I think we can wrap up because I feel like we could sit down and talk more nonsense for another 2 hours. But I also have a room 2 hours. Oh yeah, my bad. You got birthday party to go to. Big thing. Big thing.
This is about the party is going on in St. Martin.
This probably the last birthday party that
Let me
happened
tell you,
for a while.
I know the last time I took a good string at a piñata.
What is that?
I don't think we have piñatas anymore. I think, when the last time I see a piñata, boy?
I don't know.
That's a good question. It would probably at either Jamal or Jamila birthday, but that's a different story.
But that's
for another time. Years ago, Kadar, years ago. But yeah, we could wrap up. But yes, thank you so much for being here today, this afternoon. And so this was episode 2 of season 2. And everyone have a good time and see you next time. All right, bye.
All right, thank you. Enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah,